student directors. So many students acted directorially this time, we had to have 5 student directors. So these two are going to introduce the show so that I don't have to ramble on. So again, I'm Miss Jessie, the director, and we're just so appreciative of you coming to our show tonight. Thank you so much, and take it away, Gal.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Savannah.
We're 2 of the 5 student directors chosen for this year's drama club.
We want to take a minute and thank the people who worked really hard and helped tonight be possible. First, we want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting Evan's Drama Club. If it was for you and your kids, then tonight wouldn't even happen.
We want to thank Mrs. O'Gorick, our makeup mom, for making us all look pretty tonight.
And we want to thank Nikki and Alexis O'Gorick for helping out with makeup and backstage. They were there literally when anybody needed them. They helped out.
We want to thank our sound guy, Mr. Krajcek, who set up our microphones and speakers for tonight's performance.
And lastly, we want to thank Miss Miglin and Miss Jessie, our directors. They worked so hard and put in so much time and effort into making everything happen the way it's happening. So let's give them a hand.
Without further ado, please enjoy our performance of When I Was Your Age.
So, Mom, our teacher gave us the lamest assignment today.
We have to conduct several interviews in order to determine how our own lives compare with those of the people who lived before us.
I mean, gag me with a spoon. Nobody in the ancient past has any idea what it's like to be me.
Well, when I was your age. Oh, Mom.
Gee whiz, Mom.
Now, child.
Don't hurt cow, honey.
I thought we needed to find out about the old days. Well, I do, but I thought I'd Google it. Well, believe it or not, I do have an interesting story or two from back in the day. Well, no offense, Mom, but your stories are so, old. You're all about old school stuff like tight rolling your jeans and outdated technology. Things have changed since then. Like what exactly? Well, like you didn't have phones, or laptops at school, or internet. Actually, honey, there are still quite a lot of things that were still the same as now. I still have friends, school, not to mention lame homework assignments. Our iPods may have been called Walkman, and our laptops may have been called Trapper Keepers, but really, our types aren't that different. I guess you're right. There were some things that were different, like the clothes we had. I wore everything neon, dangling earrings and a side ponytail. I guess I could listen to a story or two before I Google it.
And just what is so bad about my stories, youngin'?
I just need to get on with my chores, Ma. The pigs need their stalls cleaned, the horses too, and the butters.
Those can wait. Now you sit yourself down and have a listen. Not only can you relate to what I have to tell, but there are some important lessons to be learned from my stories. Things that I've learned through the years I can share with you so you can benefit from it. Now isn't that valuable?
I suppose I could listen for a piece. Let me get my quill ready.
You're just gonna love my stories.
Yeah, I'm sure they're totally radical.
Hey, come on now. You'll get to hang out with your old mom and do your homework at the same time. It's a win-win, and it's gonna be great.
Take a chill pill, Mom. I'll listen, okay? But it's going to be great.
Of course, honey. Like one time, when I was your age, me and my family went on a camping trip and got attacked by a bear.
Really, a bear?
Psych.
Mom!
Okay, true stories this time, and trust me, they will be great.
Shall we begin, Mom?
Okay, Mom, let's do this. All right, Mom, let's get this over with.
When I was your age.
Chores. Yeah, Mom. You took care of the animals and helped get dinner started?
Yes, I gave the dogs food and I put the chicken in the microwave to defrost.
Michaela, aren't you forgetting Flip, have you done all your chores?
Yeah, Mom.
You take care of the animals and help get dinner started?
Yes, I made sure the automatic cat feeder was on, and I put the dinner tablet in the water to rehydrate.
Flip, aren't you forgetting something?
Mom, please don't make me.
Go field to have a plane.
But it's too hard.
I said do it. Your plane has been fueled.
Oh, you have so much work.
Mom, I don't want to go to Florida with Brad and Caleb. Being a middle child is so horrible. Brad thinks he's the boss of me, and Caleb gets away with everything. And I'm too old and too young to do anything fun. I mean, how is that possible? You have no idea how awful it is having to spend my life as a middle child. I'll probably have to sit in the middle seat on the plane too, won't I?
I beg to differ, daughter dear, but you have no idea. When I was your age, I was young, I was hip, I was cool, I wore a side ponytail, and I was a little child. And let me tell you, you don't know how good you have it.
Oh, really? I heard a little competitive edge to your voice there, Mom. So you think you can outmiddle me?
You don't stand a chance. You'll be thinking you're lucky stars you get to go on this vacation.
Try me.
Is that a challenge?
Let's make it interesting. You tell me your worst middle child story, and if I'm outdone, I'll pack my bags without a peep.
Prepare to be vacationed. And do you realize you'll be packing either way?
Yes, but without a peep for your winnings.
Okay, so it was the summer after 7th grade, the middle of the night, and...
Hey, Mom, don't you think Young used to tell the story?
What, you don't like how I tell it?
No, it's just that she's standing right there.
Fine, go on.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning when my parents crept into my room like boogeymen and shook me awake. The expression on their faces was crazed joy. Sound like a horror story? Think again. It's my family vacation tradition. My crazy parents, who for the record are not actually crazy, but do some pretty wacky things, have created this tradition for our family. That is, me, my older brother, ta-da! My younger brother, ta-da! And the 2 nutball parents. Since both my parents teach middle school, all 5 of us have the whole summer off. Sounds magical, doesn't it? Further back than I can remember, my parents decided that our annual family vacation was a little too planned and a little too traditional. So they decided that once July hit, we should be prepared for any spur-of-the-moment vacation the 2 of them had been planning in secret. They wake us up in the middle of the night, tell us to pack, don't tell us where we're going, and then cram us into the family station wagon for a spontaneous, torturous vacation. This particular summer, I was feeling particularly annoyed as I sat in the middle of the back seat, listening to my 2 brothers sing Stuck in the Middle with You, as I became painfully aware that my life was terribly redundant. In the middle of the night, my middle-aged parents, who, no joke, both teach middle school, woke me up, me their middle child, me a middle schooler, and stuck me in the middle of the back seat. Might say that middle is my middle name. And I was becoming more and more annoyed with the clown on the left of me and the joker on my right, with each passing second. Glancing out the window, I searched for some sign of where we were going and found nothing. It seemed we were truly in the middle of nowhere. I wanted to scream. Since that wasn't really a possibility, I did the next best thing. I fell asleep. Hours later, I woke up, wiped the dew off my face, and felt surprisingly refreshed. Being woken up, well, in the center of the night can really make me cranky. And with the sun shining in through the car windows and the whole family singing to some upbeat song, I started to think I'd gotten maybe a little overboard with my negative middly thoughts. Just before joining in to settle in with the family sing-along, I tried to reason with myself. I didn't like it. I would never like it, but I was stuck with it. Stuck right in the middle with it. And I will survive. After all, in a year, I'll be a freshman and no longer a middle schooler. And my parents are only 40, so they're not really middle-aged if they live to be over 80. And they're healthy, so that could totally happen. It was now early morning, not the middle of the night or any other time, so really, middle is just a momentary problem. I was right in the middle of this prematurely positive thought when my parents broke right in the middle of it.
Look!
They said, pointing to a giant colorful sign.
We're here!
I wanted to laugh and cry at the same time when I read that sign. The sign read, "Welcome to Middleton, Colorado."
Oh, Mom. Yes?
I'll get my suitcase.
Honey, I'm heading over to the Piggly Wiggly. I need to pick up a few things.
You mean you don't want to stay and enjoy your grandson's company?
Oh, I won't be long.
Okay, dear. Be careful. Oh, and while you're out, would you pick me up some polygraph and butterscotch candies?
Of course, dear. I'll be back soon. Skippy, don't you have too much fun with your grandmother while I'm gone?
We'll try not to. I sure do love me some grandkid time. I sure do love me some grandkid time. I said I sure do love me some grandkid time.
Did you say something, Grandma?
Oh, for Pete's sake, never mind.
Grandma. Grandma. Grandma.
Did you need something, sweetie?
I'm bored.
How can you possibly be bored?
It's boring. There's nothing to do. Being a kid nowadays is boring. There's nothing fun.
You have so much stuff, you can't possibly be bored. When I was your age, we didn't have nearly as much stuff as you kids do now. But we always had something to do if we looked. And we didn't have the advantage of so many eyes.
You always talk like you don't have anything, and how we have so much nowadays. What stuff exactly are you talking about? And what do you mean you didn't have as many eyes? Did people used to have one eye and then we evolved?
I'm talking about all the eyes you kids today have. By my math, I believe you have 5 eyes, Vicky.
What are you talking about, Grandma? I only have 2 eyes that I know of. Are you about to reveal a very bizarre family secret?
No, silly. Let's see here. First, you have 2 eyes on your head, then an iPhone, an iPod, and even an iPad. Isn't that 5 eyes?
Oh, Grandma, I guess if you think of it like that, I do have more eyes than you did.
And you are bored with all those eyes?
Well, I guess you can just call me spoiled, but I'm still bored. What did you do for fun when you were a kid?
We played real games,
Oh yeah, like what?
like hopscotch, hide-and-go-seek, stickball, and kick the can.
What the heck is kick the can?
Why don't you use your iPad and look it up on that internet thingy? What's that behind your back, dear?
It's your anniversary present, my dear.
Oh, Earl, you old romantic, but our anniversary isn't until tomorrow.
I know, Martha, but I just couldn't resist. I just knew you'd love it.
All right, the suspense is killing me. What is it?
I got you something that has millions of videos on it, even nitty videos. It has all the news you can want to watch, and you can check the weather on it. You can send an electronic message on it, and you can even play games with it.
Oh, Earl, you didn't have to give me so many presents. I don't need that many gifts.
It's only one present. What is it? Sounds cool. My iPad can do that stuff. What? Skippy? You have an iPad too?
Oh, Earl, this is wonderful. I'm going to be the coolest granny on the block. I can't wait to take this to bingo night.
Grandma, aren't you going to tell me more about what you did for fun when you were a kid?
1 second, Skippy. I'm downloading some quilting videos to email to Ethel.
Grandpa, do you have any stories? What did you do for fun when you were a kid? The old days. We sure didn't have iPads when I was a kid. Skippy, let me tell you something. Things sure were boring back then.
Hey, Dad, I was wondering. Yeah, kiddo? Maybe I could get a little advice about something?
Anytime, sport. What seems to be trouble? Friends? School? Parents are just too great.
Actually, it's about a girl. A girl who I asked out, she totally turned me down. I'm kind of crushed. Do you got any good advice?
It happens to the best of us, son. Being dumped, having your heart broken, having your soul ripped apart. I mean, you might think your old man's much too good everywhere about anything like that, but when I was your age, I wasn't the same hip with the guy I am today. I was tad, sappy, and oblivious, and could get totally blindsided with that kind of thing. a bad rejection can turn into the coolest guys and respectless versions of themselves. That was me after my first breakup. It hurts to even picture it.
Hey, Olivia.
Hey, Scooter.
Scooter? It was a nickname.
Uh-huh.
How are you today, Olivia?
Okay, but there's something we need to talk about.
What? Anything.
I don't think I can see you anymore.
What? Did you lose the contact?
No, Scooter. Scooter, I mean, I don't want to date you anymore. It's over.
But, I love you. I love you, Olivia. You love me. We love each other.
No, you don't. Either way, I don't.
There, Dad. Let it out. Don't keep it bottled up.
Oh, don't worry, son. I may be in the middle of the 7th grade hallway, but ball up, I did not. I ran in and stopped anybody that I listened.
She didn't love me. She never loved me. You know, people have told me I don't actually know what love is, but I refuse to believe that. It doesn't matter how old you are. I know that love is a two-way street if you're lucky. I know that love is when a person makes your heart almost explode when you're with them, and then lift your mood just by looking at you.
Oh, Dad, that sounds, It's okay, Kyle. You can say it.
Pathetic.
Hey, I know what people think, that I'm a cliche. A teenager who thinks his junior high sweetheart broke his heart, ripped it out, and tossed it in the trash. But that doesn't even begin to explain it. She crumpled my heart up. She threw it on the ground. She took my heart and she stomped on it, shredded it, and tossed it in the air like Atriomi ventrically confetti. You know what? This was my Olivia binder. This slip of paper with her number on it crumpled like my heart. This note that I passed her in science when I asked her if she liked me and she checked the yes box, fell on the ground like my heart. This mixed tape with our song, "Oh, Olivia, you do got the right stuff, baby." Beauty and forever, stomped on like my heart. This love poem I wrote for her that is not cheesy like some people say.
Oh, it's cheesy. Believe it.
This love poem I wrote for her, rooted and tossed in the air like confetti at a party of pain and sorrow and devastation. Like my heart. Well, I feel better.
Well, Dad, at least in the end, you said you did the team.
Oh no, Olivia, what have I done? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Come on, let's get some shade.
Well, so there's a run the most extra reaction, Kyle.
You know, Dad, I feel a little better.
That's great, kiddo. Is it because you know what you're going through, the same thing your old man went through?
No, actually, I think it's just that I feel nearly that bad. Actually, I felt a little bad for you. You okay?
Kyle, come on and sit at the table.
Yeah, I recovered, Kyle. Coming, Olivia!
He's like a little Joe up there.
But why not? I'm 15. I can take care of myself. Is that really what you think? Even if you were 17, I still won't let you go. I haven't ever been to this new skate park myself, and until I've been there, there's no way I'm letting you go with just a group of teenagers and no adult supervision. You act like there aren't even going to be other people there. This is America. It's not like India where everyone in town knew everyone. You're just fooling yourself. It was never like that when we lived in India. Besides, teenagers everywhere will be teenagers. Be reasonable, like Lakshmi was. Which one? You're constantly lecturing me on at least 3 different ones, since apparently I was named for all of them. It was 1857 in the Kingdom of Jhansi. Queen Lakshmi Bai was preparing for war with the British. Here we go. Have you given up on that army service yet?
No, I'll not give up serving my country just because you are fearful and have decided it is not worth it.
Lakshmi, go get some curd. I joined the women regiment Rani Lakshmi had.
You did what?
I joined the women regiment. I'll be trained to ride horses, go and watch duty, fight, and treat wounds. We thought to do all the army skills that men can do. And I refused to marry.
What?
Lakshmi, darling, why do you not want to be married? You're getting so old. Soon you'll be just an old maid. And besides, Rama is such a nice boy. He is 19 and I'm 15.
So what? That is a normal age difference. When I got married, I was younger, still, and your father was only 16. Be glad that is not happening to you. Besides, he's in the army too, and is well educated. You can hear stories from him if he's kind enough to apply such a thing to a woman.
I want to do this.
You will do nothing without your father's permission.
Yes, Father.
Good girl. Off to bed now.
Yes, Father.
In the morning she will have forgotten all about this silly notion.
I certainly hope you're right. Perhaps if I go speak with her. Lakshmi! Lakshmi! I can't find Lakshmi! She's gone!
She can't have gone far. I'll go look for her. Goodness knows how she got so far out of there in so little time.
Did you find her?
Yes,
Where is she?
she is in the woman regiments. I couldn't speak to her to bring her back.
Now what? You can't just let it do what she likes. It defies nature.
In these times of war and confusion, we need all the help we can get. When this is over, when the war is won, then she will come home. I will ask her to marry them. It will bring shame upon us. If she doesn't, after all the arrangements have been made, she will see the sense in death. She has always responded since, but I will not make her quit the army.
And so, Lakshmi married Ram, fought bravely, and eventually started a family after the British crushed the rebellion. Her parents just learned to live with it.
So the moral of the story is, disobey your parents for a sufficiently good reason.
No! To be reasonable.
But what I said ties into it, right?
Yes?
Well then, what I learned is that sometimes it's okay to say no to your parents, because sometimes
That's not what I meant.
they are blinded by love for you, and let what they want cloud what's right. Maybe this will help me judge the world on my own without
Lakshmi, really?
a mother's guiding hand. Since practice makes perfect, this is perfect practice for when I'm at college on my own someday.
There's a difference.
Well then, what is it?
Well, will you be back by 9? Fine. You have successfully twisted everything I've taught you to your advantage. Here you go. She's growing up so fast.
My teacher reminded us not just to get the blooper reel, but the stuff with teeth. To think about how people we knew and loved have lived through moments that were intense, tragic, painful, terrifying. I started to think about all of my ancestors, my living relatives, and what they would be able to tell me that they had survived.
I survived the Great Chicago Fire. I survived the Hindenburg. I survived the sinking of the Titanic.
I survived Hurricane Katrina.
The experience was terrifying. Flames around me. I didn't know where our parents were. I was lost in heat. When I looked back, I saw clouds of thick, gray smoke. My first instinct was to run, but I jumped through the nearest window, landing on the soft bed of grass and sand. All I saw was panic. People were running around. Others looked like they had given up. Me and my parents were crammed in a lifeboat for hours and hours. I didn't think it would ever end. It was petrifying.
The water came over us faster than we could do anything.
I saw people drifting away in the flood of dirty water. I can only describe it in one word. Terrifying.
I can't believe I made it out alive. So few did. Somehow, I was one of them. We shouldn't take things for granted. We learned that the hard way.
I will always remember, always be grateful.
I survived.
My aunt is almost 25, so she's pretty old. I asked her about her best and weirdest and most hilarious moments from when she was my age, and she always had to think a minute. Probably because she's so old she can't remember. But she did come up with great stories. Then I asked her what the scariest moment of her adolescence was. She didn't hesitate. My mom never told me the story. I guess since she was away at college, she lived it a lot differently. It was so weird to picture her my age living the story that she told me, the story of survival.
My dad has been coming home from work pretty much every day since I can remember. When I was little, it was an event. Dad coming home from work was a celebration. But as I got older, and I guess when I became a teenager, I was a little too cool to make a big deal about Dad coming home. I sometimes resented him working so much. We got into arguments about stuff, stupid stuff. And as I guess might be normal, our relationship was strained. We were strangers to each other. And when he walked in the door, I didn't even look up. It hurt my mom to see us lose each other like that. And she would sometimes talk about how close I used to be with my dad, how much I used to appreciate him, love him, miss him every day he left for work. At least once a week, right before my dad would come home from work, she'd nearly tear up, telling me the same old story.
You probably don't remember this, honey, but when you were younger and your dad would come home from work, he would get just so excited. You would hear his keys in the door, and wherever you were, you would freeze, look up, and your eyes would light up just so bright. You were like a little puppy with ears standing up and a waggly little tail. And then Daddy would come in the room and you'd leap on him with a huge bear hug. And every day you said the same thing. While you talked him to his neck, you said, "Daddy, you're home. I missed you so much. Please don't ever leave again, Daddy." Isn't that just the sweetest thing? It almost made me tear up some days to see you love your daddy so much. You probably don't remember that, of course. You had such a special relationship.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Of course I remember. I was like 8 before I stopped doing that. But come on, what did she want from me? Big deal, Dad's home from work. Give me a break. Dad got a new job one fall, early September, and we got a new house. Everything always revolved around Dad's work. I was so annoyed at my dad for making me leave my home, for making me leave my friends, and for making us move in so quick, we didn't even have a phone yet, or a cable. We had 3 channels. I hadn't started school there, and we weren't a cell phone family yet, so seriously. It was like moving to a deserted island. You can imagine that on Dad's first Monday coming home from work, I not only didn't look up, I scowled, ran into my new room, and slammed the door. I hated our new house. I hated his new job. I didn't even know what my dad's job was, and I hated it. All I knew is that he was a Thai guy. My mom had told me he worked in some important building, but I didn't even know his name. It wouldn't have meant anything anyway. I'd never heard of the World Trade Center, so it wouldn't have impressed me. And honestly, nothing my dad did impress me anyway. Tuesday morning, I was still asleep when my dad left home for work. But it was me who was flipping back and forth between our 2 decent channels when I saw something that made my stomach turn to ice. I called my mom in from unpacking boxes in the hall, but when she came in and stood next to me, I couldn't even talk. She looked at me. She saw that my eyes were asking her, "Mom, what's happening?" Then she followed my eyes to the screen. She fell to the couch and just stared, glass-eyed at the TV. She didn't try to lie to me. She couldn't have. I knew from her face that something horrible was happening. I hadn't known the name before that day, but I did recognize the pictures of the buildings where my dad's new job had been. We didn't say much, Mom and I. There wasn't much to say or much reason to talk. We didn't have a phone. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't know where my dad had been or was. And although we both knew that, neither of us said it. Neither of us did anything but think it in silence for
the next hour. After the first hour, my mom got up to pace. Sometimes she was crying, sometimes silent, sometimes loud and apologetic, and sometimes she was like a statue, staring off. I was too scared and sad to do anything but sit and stare. I didn't know how to cry, pace, or even move. I just sat and thought about my dad for hours, every second thinking a month passed by. Daddy, you're home! My daddy's home! I love you, Daddy. Don't ever leave again.
Used to be.
Like all adolescents, my life was filled with action, adventure, and...
Drama, drama, drama.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I was going to say. Only a fortnight ago,
That's 2 weeks, 14 days in old people talk. You know, like 7 years ago?
yes, thank you. Now, where was I? Yes, it was only a fortnight ago when my village was attacked by a ruthless band of pirates. My mom and I ran out of the village as fast as we could, being chased all the way.
Running? Like on foot? Can you imagine trying to escape from bad guys and not hopping in your car and peeling out?
Peeling out?
Yeah, it's a complicated concept. Let's shift gears a little.
So I'm chilling in my beanbag chair, grooving to some righteous Duran Duran, and playing some Frogger on my new guitar when this huge storm hits the neighborhood. I mean, it was out of sight. This totally loud crash of thunder sounded, and the power went out. And I was just about to meet my Frogger high score. I rushed outside to check things out, and I saw the power line had fallen on my neighbor's house. In a matter of seconds, the house caught fire, and smoke began billowing out the windows. Thankfully, I saw my neighbors rush out of the house, all alive and well. By the time the fire department could come and control the fire, most of the house was lost. It was devastating, but then this totally radical thing happened. At first, everyone was like, "Wigging out, man," and then it turned all totally tubular.
OMG! Can you believe people actually talk like that? Like, hashtag, what are you saying, man? Sorry, man, your situation stinks and all, but YOLO. I need a break from you. If we look forward a few decades, we could see things a little more differently.
Like all 13-year-olds, I was at the unveiling of the new hoverboard P2000. We were in this dynamo area with this mega huge hologram screen, watching the CEO of Hovertech Industries, when suddenly the screen flashed a red warning. Meteor strike near Midtown. Evacuate Midtown immediately. Everyone panicked and started racing away. Outside, people with plasma cannons were trying to disintegrate as many meteors as they could. Suddenly, I saw a girl trapped under her semi-crushed hover jeep. I ran over to help her, but I couldn't unjam the door. I yelled for help.
Okay, these stories are major bummers. I mean, I'm supposed to be listening to some commonality between your 3 stories, and all I hear is that they're all super depressing. I mean, pirates, a house fire, meteors. Didn't anything good ever happen to you guys?
Pardon me, but give us a courtesy of finishing our stories. You might not seem as bummers, as you call them.
Yeah, man, like what she said. I mean, no duh. If you don't listen to the end, you can't really know what happens. Doy.
Fine, finish your sob stories.
Everywhere, brave men were trying to drive the pirates away from our peaceful seaside village. Finally, when they'd been forced back to their ship, we saw that many of our houses were destroyed, mine included. But everybody pitched in and helped rebuild. Soon, our town would return to its original splendor. Everybody in our town was a little stronger and a little closer.
Over the next few weeks, the whole neighborhood pitched in to help the family. They had clothes, a place to stay, and dozens of people working to rebuild their home. It was a bogus thing that happened, but in the end, the house was like more gnarly than ever, and the neighbors felt this like totally awesome sense of family. We were stronger and closer than ever.
Right away, people who had been panicked raced over to help me and the trapped girl. Dozens of people pulled and tugged, and finally, we freed her. We helped each other find shelter and stayed together until the meteor strike ended. It was a crazy, intense, scary day, but in the end, we worked together to help keep each other safe. We were a stronger and closer community than we ever had been.
Well, having heard your stories, and considering what they all, despite being years apart, have in common, I can only say, It is a mystery. The world may never know.
I've been working on this assignment forever.
Trying to figure out what it was like to be my age.
When my parents were young, like in the dark ages.
Or when anyone was my age, really.
Let's see. I've asked my parents,
My grandparents.
my great-grandparents. I called aunts and uncles.
I asked my older siblings.
What other old people do I know? Oh yeah, my teachers.
What was your best memory?
What was your worst memory? What do you remember from that long ago? I mean, that was long ago.
And so far, I've heard things that I couldn't have imagined.
I mean, I was shocked,
Appalled.
amazed, in awe,
I felt suddenly baffled.
less alone, understood.
Just from asking one simple question.
What do you remember from when you were my age? You know, before dirt was invented. Family vacations?
When Kennedy was shot.
When Lincoln was shot,
When Princess Di got married?
When Luke and Laura got married.
When Rhoda and Joe got married?
When Joni and Chachi got married.
Am I related to those people? When my parents got divorced?
When my dad lost his job.
September 11th. My first love.
my first breakup, the depression in the cardboard in my shoes.
And with every new story,
I begin to wonder more about them and just have more questions
about what life was like.
about what life will be like. What do they wonder about?
Will I get to ride on a hoverboard? Will we buy our own butter?
Where is the beef?
In 1972? Will a woman ever vote? Will a woman ever become president?
What will my children be like when they grow up? What does the fox say? I've listened.
And listened.
I've taken tons of notes. And I might be
Starting to learn something.
Mom, do I have to go to Grandma's?
You haven't seen her in a year.
So, she can wait another year.
Rick?
Sorry, Mom.
What are your grandma's, Ricky? Sit down, Ricky.
Don't you want a hug?
Hugs are for hippies.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear a story, Ricky?
Nah, that's okay, Grandma. Use the rest.
Well, I'm going to tell a story anyway. I'm sure your mother told you that when I was a girl, I lived in France for a while.
Yeah, maybe. I guess.
And that's where I met your grandfather.
Yeah, neat. Okay.
And your great-grandfather, my father, was a very important man.
Yeah, neat.
Well, of course, only if you consider spies important.
What's that?
Oh, didn't you know, Ricky? When I was a girl, my father was a spy.
Really? Really?
I'm a grandmother, Ricky dear. We aren't allowed to lie.
I don't know. Doesn't sound very believable, Grandma.
So you wouldn't mind if I stopped my story?
No, don't stop. I mean, how else will I figure out if it's true or not?
Okay then, decide for yourself. Now, as I said, when I was a girl, my father was a spy. But on his deathbed, he gave me a mission. I was only a few years older than you when he told me, Judy, I need you to go undercover and get information from a rival spy. So of course, I told him I would. So I flew to France and went undercover as an agent for the French network. The rival spy gave me the information I needed, and I gave it to my father's hands. They were so pleased with my work that they hired me on at the agency. And that's how I became a spy.
Oh my gosh, Grandma! That is so cool! I mean, if it were true, well, then I don't know, Grandma. Can you speak French?
Speak French? Of course I can speak French. Licorne has good day, Salami?
Oh my gosh, you can speak French! What did you say?
Well, I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
I was a spy.
I don't know. I don't think you'd want to be a spy.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, it's very dangerous. I almost fell off the Eiffel Tower once, you know.
Whoa, no way! Is that the leaning one?
Well, no.
I'm the coolest grandma ever! Can I come over all the time?
My door's always open. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. When I returned to France, another spy found out I was from the States. To Peony? Mom, your name isn't Peony. Well, not technically, dear, but Beatrice doesn't have the same flair and excitement. Peony is quite an adventurous name, don't you think?
You know, Grandma, I was thinking, I'm not doing anything after school tomorrow. I'll be around by 4, okay? Okay, see you then. See ya.
You told him the spy stories, didn't you? Works every time.
I have always believed that we each have a moment, an important moment, that changes us, our path, our view of ourselves, and the world. But I felt like I waited a long time for mine. When I was just a girl, I never fit in. I always tried to be someone else. I didn't know what it was like to believe in myself, to be myself. I didn't understand how lucky I was to have a life so beautiful. It was 1942. I was about 15 years old, and my best friend Alice and I were skipping along to school. We saw all of our favorite candy stores and ice cream shops in the coolest little treehouse on the edge of town. Alice started jumping for joy when we both felt drops on our cheeks. It was raining. I was immediately embarrassed by our childish actions and walked away. But she tugged me back and just started to laugh. Then Alice started to dance in the rain. She was leaping and skipping and jumping and laughing. I got so caught up in the moment that I joined her. I started to laugh too. For the first time, I started to appreciate the beauty and simplicity of life, of my life, of being me. My moment was when I danced in the rain.
My mom always told me there'd be a moment when everything changed, and if I paid attention, I'd know when I saw it. I knew segregation existed, but I was lucky because it wasn't so much a part of my life where I lived with my mom, my dad, and my sisters. At least, not in the way that I saw when I was 10. But one summer, we went to go visit my grandma, where things were not so different. My sisters and I begged and pleaded for her to take us to the beach, and I thought she was resisting just because grown-ups do that. But finally, she gave in. We took the short drive to the beach, and as we walked towards the shore, I was in awe of the beautiful white sand glittering in the sun like so many diamonds. Not that I'd actually ever seen one. And although I thought I could count hundreds of people in polka-dotted, striped, and flowered bathing suits, I was amazed at all the space. I started looking for the perfect spot for us, but my grandma didn't turn towards the beautiful white sand beach. She held my hand tight, held her head high, and kept walking past. I guess, in my amazement at the bright colors and beautiful water, I hadn't noticed that it wasn't just the sand that was blinding white. We kept walking past all those people until we got to our beach. That sand, you could even call it that, wasn't fine and bright. It was like sharp, broken gravel. The water was murky and green, and the whole place was littered with papers and bottles. Well, my grandma found a spot, set up our things, and smiled at us. Although, even at 10, I could tell the smile was hiding pain, anger. My sisters, who were only 4, they just ran towards the water, laughing and playing. But then I looked over at my grandma, who had brought us to this horrible place, who looked sad and sorry. I walked over to her, held her hand, and said, "Grandma, thank you for taking us here, so I could see, so I could know." My moment was when I saw my beach and saw a need for change.
My grandma taught me to look for my moment. And I always thought it'd be something great, something magical. But your moment isn't always that way. When I was young, I was bullied. I was shy and awkward and pushed around by everyone until I snapped and changed ways the only way I thought I could. For 8 years, I became a bully. I was mean to people. I pushed and shoved. I shouted nasty words. It was just plain awful. Until 1986. I was 17, a senior in high school. I was trying to shove Eric Dunlop into the garbage can. Like always, there was a huge crowd around me, cheering me on, shouting things like, "Take him down," or "Crush him." All of a sudden, Eric grabbed my shoulders and held me back. He was stronger than I thought. He just never fought back. He looked me square in the eyes and said, Why are you such a jerk? I shrugged him off like he wasn't worth my time and walked away, laughing on the outside. But his words woke something loose in me. I never looked at him or said I was sorry. I just walked away. I never knew how much my actions played in other people's lives. It may have not seemed so tough, but Eric's words were a punch to the gut. My moment is when Eric fought back.
Hey there, what you listening to, kiddo?
Oh, just Cardboard Bleach Rabbit. They're pretty new.
Cardboard Bleach Rabbit? They sound interesting. Can I see, the 8-track or whatever?
What's that, Mom?
I just want to see the tape. Record? CD? The thing you bought that has the music on it.
Oh, here.
Is it working? I think it's broken. All I hear is static and some bleeps and beeps. It sounds like dial-up internet.
Mom, I haven't understood a word you've said for like 5 minutes. It's working fine. I totally love CBR.
Who?
The group, Cardboard Bleach Rabbit.
Oh yeah, they're pretty new, huh? I've never heard of them actually.
Oh good. That means they're so cool and I can still listen to them in public. They're really talented, Mom. I think if Beethoven were alive, his music would probably sound something like this.
I think if Beethoven were alive, he'd roll over in his grave if he heard you say that.
Alrighty there, Mom. I think you've had too much modern music for one day. Why don't you go down and listen to something nice and old?
Some Michael Bolton or Kenny G does sound pretty relaxing. Or maybe I'll go look through my old 45s.
Seriously, Mom, what language are you speaking?
What, dear?
Rock on, Mom. Mom? Hey, Mom. Where'd she go? I was wondering if...
Mom! What? Oh, I didn't hear you come in. What is it, dear?
What are you listening to?
Who?
Okay, fine. Who are you listening to?
Who?
The name of the band.
Who?
The name of the band that you're listening to.
Who?
The name of the band that you keep dancing to. Which is kind of embarrassing, actually.
Who?
The name of the band that you keep playing on that giant stereo thingy.
Who is the band?
That's what I'm asking you.
And I'm answering you. Who is the band?
Okay, start over. Do you hear the music?
Yes.
Do you know the name of the band that is playing the music?
Of course. They've always been one of my favorite bands.
Can you tell me the name of the band?
Yes.
Okay, what is the name of the band?
No, not what. Who?
Oh!
Would you feel better if I put on the Beatles instead?
No, just tell me the name of the band.
I did. Who is the band?
That's what I want to know.
Okay, I think I know how to settle this. Do you see the CD case?
Yes.
Do you see the name of the band on the CD case?
Yes, it says... Oh.
Yes. The name of the band is The Who.
Oh, oops.
It's okay. Would you like to listen to it with me?
Do you promise not to dance?
Oh, okay. We'll just listen.
Try to understand.
Hi. I'm Mackenzie, a 7th grader. And some people say that I'm sort of shy. I try to work on it. I really do. It's just, I'm not good at being brave. I feel so wimpy and weak. I just didn't know how to handle it when I got so embarrassed or drew attention to myself. Starting with Ryan. He's a boy at my school, and I have all my classes with him. He's smart and cool and good at sports. He's so awesome. And he's never teased me about being quiet or shy. I thought maybe, just maybe he liked me. But I think I totally ruined that at once.
Look at what's class. Better watch out, McClumpy. Come on, Brian. Brian, you coming?
Yeah. See you o'clock, Mackenzie.
Thank you, Dr. Mackenzie Clark. That's my mom. She's this big shot professor who teaches at all these big universities. We move a lot for her work, so I was starting like my 8th school, and I was in the dreaded 7th grade. Double whammy. This story all starts on that morning, and truth be told, I didn't want to go to school that morning. I was new and had no friends at all. Let's just say it was going to be terrible again. It was like my 6th time moving in 10 years. That morning, it all started with my mom.
Honey, it's time to get up.
Okay, I'll be down in a minute.
Hurry.
I'm coming, Mom. And eventually, against my better judgment, I went downstairs and went to school. For a week I went, and I wouldn't say things were great. Sure, there was a group of mean girls, just like everywhere, but they weren't original. They giggled when I talked in class, they book-checked me, they rolled their eyes when I talked, but I was kind of a pro. And even though it wasn't going well, I could handle it. That is, until after one especially bad and lonely day. I came home and got on Facebook so I could maybe talk to some of my old friends and just forget about the day. But that's not exactly how it happened. Someone from my new school had sent me a friend request, so I thought, what the heck? Big mistake. There on her page was a picture of me from that day at school giving a speech. I'm really uncomfortable giving speeches, so there I was, up at the front of the class, face red as a lobster, looking flustered and stupid, with comments from dozens of kids whose names I didn't even begin to recognize, just making fun of everything about me. Everything.
Isn't she from Virginia? Yeah, only losers come from Virginia. Can you believe she did her speech today on dolphins? You mean dolphins? LOL. Where did she get those clothes? Probably from the trash. See you tomorrow at school. Yeah, hopefully we do not have to see her. Yup, spare my eyes. Totally. Later.
It wasn't my plan at all, but my mom walked in while I was sitting at my computer screen crying my eyes out. And so I told her all about it. I even let her read the post. And my mom, who's like the most successful, amazing grown-up I'd ever known, could actually relate a little.
Lizzie, when I was your age...
Mom, please. I know you probably have some helpful story. I just don't think you can understand what I'm going through.
Lizzie, you're right. At your age, I couldn't imagine anything worse than dropping my tray in the lunchroom and all the kids called me clumsy. But now, I don't even remember their names or how it felt. When I was your age, things were easier. I'm so sorry this is happening to you.
I'm just so different from them. I don't fit in at all. And I guess I wanted her to say, you're not so different, honey. Or, you will fit in, dear, just wait. But she didn't.
Sweetie, you're right. You aren't like them. You're better. You're kind. You're smart enough to know that what they're doing is wrong. Why would you want to fit in with them? Why would you want to be anything but different from them?
I wanted so badly to fit in, to be one of them. But she was right, and I knew it. It didn't make any of it hurt less, but it did, just a little, change my reaction to them. And slowly, as I started to care less about them, they started to care less about me. By the end of my first month, they had set their sights on someone else, another new girl. I saw them book check her in the halls. I watched them roll their eyes and giggle when she talked in class. And then I watched them stare at me as I sat with her at lunch, and I didn't care. She was really, really different from them. She definitely didn't fit in at all. So I figured she might just be worth knowing.
Happy birthday to you! Oh! Yay! Now make a wish. Oh, doggone it, wait a second. I missed it. Do that again, relight the candles. I don't think this darn thing was on. What's this light?
Now you got it, baby. See that? These are done. Now just push that button. Wait for the red light to turn on. There, now it's off.
Newfangled technology. When I was
Jeez! Okay, it's time to open presents now. Moms, do keep recording while I cut the cake. Presents first, little ones, then you can have yours.
Come on now. I got this video going to do Hickey blinking green, so it should be going.
I want to go first. No, you went first last year. It's my turn. I want to go first. You went first for Christmas. I never get to go first. Actually, you went first for Valentine's Day.
That's enough. When I was a pup, I didn't argue with my siblings. We got along because we were left to have each other. Arguing was for the birds, and the cats, and the two-legged folk. Canines, now hush up, and be pleasant like a dog should. You can go first, sweetheart.
Look, Grandma got a new leash.
You know, when I was a pup, we didn't have them newfangled leashes. I was tied up with a rope. And not some fancy new rope, a crusty old frayed rope. Don't you sass me, pup.
My turn, my turn. Cool, I got a new collar.
When I was a pup, we didn't have them fancy diamond-studded collars. My collars were made of fresh-cut leather, and we didn't have no fancy tag dangling off it. If a pup got lost, good riddance. How many of a pup with no sense of direction anyway?
Oh, brother, I always go last. Just open your present. Wow, a new squeaky toy.
You know, when I was a pup, we didn't have no squeaky toys. I played with chickens in a coop. And all the pups in the neighborhood, and rocks, and clumps of dirt, and tree stumps. And when I was a pup, we didn't have no fancy pellets to eat. I ate table scraps, roast beef, cooked chicken, sometimes even mashed potatoes, grits, parsnips, and turnip greens. And when I was a
Who
pup,
wants cake?
Ooh, me, I
Mom, would you like some birthday cake?
when I was a pup, our birthday cake.
Mom, it has liver and onion filling.
I'll take two.
Knock, knock. Hey, pal, can we talk?
Hey, Dad.
About earlier. Sorry I embarrassed you in front of your friends. I'm hoping we can make amends. Showing them baby pictures of you in your diaper may have been a little dense, but I was just trying to be a cool dad in my defense.
By showing them pictures of me at the time of my first diaper blowout to my friends.
It was really funny at the time, to your mother, but in hindsight, I think you just might be right.
That's not it. It's that when you talk, you...
What? Do I have something in my teeth?
No, Dad. It's every time you talk. You always start to...
What? Oh, say don't spray. I know, when I get going, I just...
No, Dad. It's the rhyming.
The rhyming? Wow, I had no clue. The rhyming bothers you? Well, it'll be tough, I admit, but for you, kid, I'll try to quit it. Stop. Hey, did I ever tell you about that time when I was your age and my dad came to pick me up from school? You see, having a dad who reads tall books and rhymes 24/7 wasn't the coolest thing in town.
Dad, it's still not cool to have a dad who writes taller books. And it'd be a crime to have a dad who rhymes all the time. Dang it. It'd be really bad to have a dad who... Oh, gee, what the heck is wrong with me?
It's okay. It's in your blood. Let me tell you a story. I remember it was like yesterday. I was waiting for my dad to come pick me up, and he was in the phase of promoting his new book. And I guess he had to come straight from work. Not the best thing when I was trying to have friends. At first, I tried to pretend I didn't see him.
Do you see that giant cat?
No. See, giant cat?
But he was so clueless. He started talking to me as I hoped he wouldn't.
Hi, son. How was your day? Who was your friend? Would you like to come play? Maybe some checkers. We can let loose. Nice to meet you, son. I'm Dr.
And that's when they all just walked away. I waved bye to my friends who abandoned me the next day. My dad just kept rhyming ridiculously and rambling a ton, not even knowing he's humiliated his poor son.
Dad, you're doing it again.
Sorry, it's the rhymer in me.
So what you're saying is it's kind of in our genes to embarrass each other? And someday, I want to find my own church like you and Grandpa both did.
That does seem to be a possibility.
So unless someone like you changes a whole awful lot, you're never gonna stop embarrassing me. You're not.
I guess so, but I can still try to change.
Thanks, Dad, but no. I would love you in a box. I would love you with tennis shoes and black socks. I would love you near and far. I love you, Dad, just as you are. Well, I suppose that's the end, youngin.
I think that about does it.
Awesome, Mom. Thanks a bunch. I'm getting an A for sure.
Oh, Ma, I'm so appreciative. You've been most helpful.
Anytime, anytime. Well, I guess it's back to work.
It was nice to sit with you for a spell. I suppose I should be tending to the chickens now.
I guess that's everything. I suppose our times really weren't that different after all, other than the dinosaurs and all that. Oh, that's it? That's everything? Are you disappointed? Does that not work for your assignment? No, it's great. It's just, is there more? More? Of course, there's always more. I was young longer than you might think. Could you tell me, for the assignment? Of course, there's plenty to tell. Well, when I was your age,
And thank you so much for coming.